Hello, I'm Tim Hellman.
I'm Jake Tenpass.
And this is Movie Talk. Today we're going to review the movie The Avengers. They've been building it up for 5 different superhero films. It's about Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. What would you call them?
A top secret government organization dedicated to building floating fortresses.
Okay, but they're a peace protection agency?
I don't know, are they? I mean, I think their motives are shady at best.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you saw Powers Booth in the movie.
Oh, yeah,
and I don't trust that guy further than I can throw him.
It was about Nick Fury finally assembling the Avengers to fight Loki, Thor's brother, who's trying to take over the world, basically.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Mm-hmm. So, what would you think, Tim?
I give it 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm not too into the whole star thing, but I guess I would probably have to give it, as action movies go, I would say that I would probably give it about a 4.5. 4.5. And I don't know what it would take to earn that fifth star, that last 0.5 star.
What did you get 5 stars as far as action?
God damn, that's a great question. No, actually, I mean, honestly, I thought this was as well put together a movie as The Dark Knight. I mean, given that, Batman to me is a simpler character to make a movie about, in that he's badass and he's sort of this lone character that it just looks cool by his very nature. Whereas making a movie about Thor, who looks like a refugee from I don't know, some 70s dance movie. To me, The Incredible Hulk is sort of maybe the trickiest character to make a movie about, because as much as I liked Ang Lee's awesome homage to Split Screen that was the Eric Bana Hulk movie, it was kind of a silly story, I felt like. And the Edward Norton one just felt like one scene after another of this ridiculous looking cartoon smashing shit. Whereas, this movie finally got the Hulk right. I mean, it was like the pacing of the development of the Hulk character, when you finally got the reveal of the Hulk coming out, the way that you got the contrast between Mark Ruffalo playing him, and then the fact that the Hulk looked like Mark Ruffalo, which I don't think they've ever really done before. I mean, I didn't see that in either the Norton version or the Bana version, whereas I felt like they really made an attempt to make the Hulk look like Ruffalo, roided out and green. I mean, I think that as sort of cinematic challenges go, pulling off a movie where you've got 6 different heroes, all played by actors that by this point you sort of know, a lot of them from different roles, and somehow finding a way to develop each of those characters. I mean, some movies can't even develop one character properly. I mean, with the possible exception of Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye wasn't developed.
Aside from being insanely hot, I have never really given a shit about Black Widow. So the notion of her being in this movie, I mean, it's always just sort of felt like a token character. And maybe I don't know.
Well, I didn't read the comics, so I don't know, but
I won't claim to be a comic expert either. However, I did read up a little bit on Black Widow and her history. It doesn't seem like she was even all that well developed in the comics. And feel free to correct me if somebody is watching this at home and knows more about Black Widow than I do. But I kind of expected that not to be much, and I really felt like the opening sequence where you're introduced to her in the movie plays with your expectations about who her character is and what she's going to be, in much the same way that the very first scene of Buffy the Vampire Slayer played with Julie Benz's character. You've got
they say Joss Whedon is great at female characters.
That's where I was going with that. You saw what I was doing there.
Remember a year ago when I told you that Joss Whedon was hired to write and direct it, and you said there's no way he'll do it because he'll come up with something that's too far out. And then you said, and also I think that movie's going to be the Batman and Robin of Marvel movie. You said, I hope I'm wrong, but
yeah.
Do you remember saying that?
That sounds like something I would say. It definitely could have been. It could have been an overblown, underdeveloped nightmare of stupid cartoonish characters that we didn't care about, doing things that didn't matter. I mean, it could have gone so horribly wrong. And I guess that's part of the fun of watching the Avengers is not only seeing a bunch of really well executed action sequences, not only seeing more character development than you thought, but seeing Whedon, who's not exactly a seasoned movie director.
Not a director, but a writer.
Yeah, excel where a lot of other directors I think would have failed miserably in that regard. And he wrote it. One of my friends who is a big Buffy fan was sort of like, I don't see a lot of Whedon in the trailer, but watching the movie, I don't know, I feel like you see the Whedon in the movie.
You say 4.5.
That's just arbitrary. I just don't want to give anything 5 stars. It's like, I mean, the only
Unless it's like old and you know that it stands the test time, then you give it.
Well,
give it a 5.
I don't know. I probably would have walked out. I mean, when I walked out of The Fountain, I would have said The Fountain was like a damn near perfect movie. There was not
Didn't
really...
you give the Daniel Day-Lewis one?
There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, you gave that a perfect rating, didn't you?
Probably, maybe.
I think in the Entertainer you did.
Yeah? All right, well, I'll go with that. I don't remember reviewing that for the Entertainer, but maybe I did. There Will Be Blood was a great movie. I mean, I think...
You don't remember it? I remember your review better than you did. You trashed Ebert's review on it because he criticized it.
I'm glad there are people out there that remember what I wrote for when I don't.
You compared it to Citizen Kane.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a story of American business. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. I remember it too. Thanks for refreshing my memory. I mean, I don't know, a movie like The Avengers, I mean, to me, I guess, if the theory of stars is that it's based on the genre and a movie can be has to be as good for that genre as it can be to earn top number of stars, then yeah, maybe The Avengers was close, but for me, I didn't walk out of The Avengers and, cry. I mean, there was no scene in that where, the tears were brimming.
Like Warrior or something like that.
Yeah, I want to just have it taken a little bit over the top into an area where I feel a little bit comfortable with the amount of emotion that I'm feeling. And The Avengers wasn't that, but it was insanely fun all the way through. I was amazed at the technical prowess that was displayed in it. If anything, I would say that I've heard a lot of people talk about how good the one-liners were in it. If anything, I felt like at times I just wanted Tony Stark to shut up. So I was like, okay, I've seen Robert Downey Jr. do this shtick. I'm not super excited by it. For me, the character that were interesting were the characters I had not liked in other movies. I mean, Captain America, for instance, was a character that bored the hell out of me in the Captain America movie, which I thought was a good movie. I thought the movie itself was entertaining and fun to watch, but how interesting is a character who is perfect?
Yeah.
Your big defect is is a physical defect, and you overcome that. Wow, he went from being a pussy to being buff by the end of the movie. That's so awesome. To me, that's not a character journey. In this movie, you discovered what is wrong with Captain America, which is that he can be a self-righteous prick. And that to me makes Captain America so much more interesting because it's a great commentary on what's wrong with America, that we can be self-righteous pricks.